Mac OS X Server has some very powerful communication functionality built into it. For example, there's both a mail server, which takes the best of open source tools and adds a very nice interface on top of it to provide POP, IMAP, and SMTP services. And there's also an iChat or a Jabber server that provides instant messaging within your own organization. So as an administrator, let me show you how you might set some of these up. So here we are in Server Admin. This is the application that we use to administer all of the different modules on the server. In this case, we're in Mail, and there's actually an assistant that will guide you in making some decisions about setting up email. You can enable POP, IMAP, SMTP, set some of the names that your mail domain might have. In this case, we're example.com. You can even relay all of your outgoing mail through a specific host if you want to do this through your ISP or something like that. You can enable junk mail and virus scanning. This will allow any incoming email to be scanned for junk mail possibilities based on some online databases and some Bayesian databases that are collected on the machine itself, and also for viruses using ClamAV, one of the open source virus scanning applications. You can also determine what happens. If you find a virus, does it get bounced? Does it get redirected? You can also then determine your actual spam score. Having a lower score means that you're going to reject more mail. Having a higher score means less mail gets rejected, but less chance of a false positive. This is a scoring system that as an admin, you're going to have to determine for yourself based upon your organization's needs. But this is a really easy way of kind of setting a default to start off with and see where it goes. You then have some options on authentication, from clear text all the way into the more secure Kerberos authentication options. Keep the default mail databases. You can do virtual hosting, so you can have multiple local host aliases if you wanted to. That can be set up from the admin as well. And now we're going to set it up. Services are being configured here. This gives us a list of all the decisions that we made. If you wanted to, you could do a screen capture of this so you could save it for later. Once everything has been configured and complete, we'll now actually turn on the server. So that's what's happening right now. We now have a green dot next to mail, letting us know that the mail process is running. Here's a list of all the individual processes that are in there. Virus scanning, junk mail filtering, all of these are running as well. We can look through some of the logs if we wanted to, through mail access here. See some of the information that's going on. If we had any connections, here's the current list of connections. And here's all the settings that we changed. So if you did need to go back at a later date and increase the level of security on your mail server, change who you're accepting SMTP relays from, or something else like that, you then have the option to go back and do this. Once this is all up and running, your users can go to the mail application and get their email. Everything's going to be in there, IMAP or POP, depending on what you want to set up for. Now let's talk about iChat. So Mac OS X Server also includes an iChat server. So this is going to allow you to set up a Jabber server. Jabber is another open source protocol that allows you to communicate over instant messaging. So here we have the server admin screen for doing this. Set up a name for the host domains. You can use an SSL certificate if you'd like. You can enable XMPP federation. This allows one Jabber server to talk to another. You might have a branch office, or you might have another organization that you've partnered with. You can then create a connection between your iChat server and their iChat server to allow your users to talk to each other in a secure fashion. Another option is logging, where you can save all messages that go through the iChat server, allowing you to keep transaction records for legal purposes or anything else that you want. So now that we've got this all configured, we're going to start up the iChat server. I can then go into iChat and create a new account. Pull down to Jabber. And I can log in. Reading email. I see that I've got an offline buddy, Sandra, who's now just logged in. Using this iChat server now, I can double click on Sandra and I can type a message to her. What would you like to do for lunch? How about sushi? I'm now having a conversation with Sandra, again entirely within our own network, and it's also being logged at the server. So as an administrator, using Mac OS X Server, you've got some very powerful tools to allow you to set up email and also iChat to allow your users to communicate better with each other.